big name back roaming the sidelines in college basketball, but is Eddie Sutton a good fit at the University of San Francisco? Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you on In the Paint, exclusively on CBSSports.com, and of course, it's all over the CBS Audience Network. And to answer that question, the professor of college basketball, Bill Raftery, joining us from Florida. And hey, Bill, Eddie Sutton, he's 2 wins away from 800. He's going to University of San Francisco to take over for Jesse Evans. Is it a good fit?
You know, it's funny. I don't think guys ever get tired of coaching. I mean, he's out of the Henry Ibis School, subscribes to great defense, and a guy who's lived and died, in a sense, in basketball. Who knows if it's a good fit? I think it's an opportunity for him to get a head start again, or be refreshed, or a renaissance, a rebirth of sorts for a guy who has just a storied career, and in the last couple of years things weren't going quite his way. And I think it's more of an opportunity. Whether it's a long-term thing, well, it will remain to be seen. But maybe I'll get a call one of these days. Anything seems possible. Let's not go that far, though.
He'll start things back up, Bill, Friday against Weber State. So if you get that call in the next couple of weeks, though, we would like to be your assistant coaches, so we'll see how that works out as well.
You've got it. I'd rather be with you, though.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, let's get into Pittsburgh. Last week beat Duke that night after we did the first edition of In the Paint, but they had a huge loss. Mike Cook, a senior on that team, one of the 4 guys that averages double figures. He's done for this season. How big of a loss is that for Jamie Dixon's squad?
Oh, I mean, it's big. It changes the way you want to do things. Terrell Biggs becomes, if they play bigger, a guy that's going to have to really step up. A lot's going to be asked of him. But they do have the luxury of playing smaller, too, with Keith Benjamin as the third guard. We know what Ronald Ramon can do, and Levance Fields as well. So, this is a really solid basketball team. We talked about DeJuan Blair last week. This is a very talented guy that can do a lot of things. Undersized center, but just dominates on the blocks. But, they're going to have to tinker a little bit. It's not going to be the flexibility they once had. And I think depending on the opponent, will dictate whether they do play big or play small.
Blair had about 21 rebounds in that game against Duke in that victory.
Amazing.
As you said, undersized height-wise, but certainly not girth-wise. A very big body in the middle. Bill, you were at the Palace last week. You saw Michigan State play Texas. Speaking of big bodies, Michigan State's got a couple of them. How impressed were you with the Spartans this time around?
It's interesting, the genius of you, Jason. You segue from Pittsburgh to Michigan State, and both coaches have been known as maybe not slow down, but walk it up on occasion, pound it, be physical. And both coaches now, Tom Izzo as well as Jamie Dixon, they're getting up and down a little bit more. I was very impressed. I think Michigan State has gotten better, progressively better. Raymar Morgan is one of their key guys. He had a big ball game against Texas. Drew Neitzel, although he can be a great impact and they run a lot of sets for him, he's the kind of a guy that doesn't have to do as much. Kalen Lucas is a guy that can blow by and do an outstanding job and be creative. It makes it easier for Neitzel. And then once in a while, they'll put Neitzel at the point. So they've got a terrific back. Sutton is a guy I think that's impressed me the most. He's quicker. He's more energetic. He's going further for rebounds. He's a guy that can score, step out a little bit. He screens. He understands the game. So, this is a very good basketball team.
Are they the cream of the crop in the Big Ten? And maybe more on a general scale, is the Big Ten back to the prominence that it had a few years ago?
Well, I think everybody will, the answer will probably come in the NCAA. I mean, that's when people find out how good everybody is. I think the conference is a good, solid conference. Indiana is a good basketball team. Wisconsin is a very good basketball team. Ohio State is one we'll see as we go along. And then who's going to step up? Is it Purdue? I think the conference is good. The venues are very tough. Every away game is very difficult in that conference. Yes, I think it's a good conference. Is it the best? No, I think the Pac-10 is the best. And Big 12 has improved. We know the Big East is real good. We'll see what happens with the ACC and the SEC.
And, one of those teams, Bill, could be Minnesota with Tubby Smith. They've been very surprising this year, but haven't played anybody. We'll see how that plays out as well. They, so far this year, have just one loss.
Well, Tubby, of course, is, again, a guy who's got an opportunity, how tough we all know it is in Kentucky to coach. And, he is an outstanding tactician. And I think sometimes that's lost when you're involved in a high-profile program like Kentucky. So he knows what to do. It's a matter of him getting some of those in-state kids to come and then incorporating some kids out of the area as well.
All right, we'll see how that works out. Bill Raftery, thank you very much, sir. We'll do quick hits in a little bit. We'll do some of the teams to pay attention for. 3 teams, that, of course, on CBSSports.com. Folks, stay tuned. In the Paint, always on demand on CBSSports.com. For Bill Raftery, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.